Good morning, friends. Welcome to another Word of Gord. OBEJournal 2019 number, yikes, 18? Let's hope so. It will be corrected on the title card for sure. Continuing on, as we always do. Had a notion this morning and actually yesterday that Maitreya wanted to pop in with a word or two. And we haven't heard from that elder brother, exalted being, leader of the brotherhood. I don't think he'd like to be called any of those things, actually. And maybe elder brother. One of the ascended masters, as they're called, as they have been called, and as they'd like to be seen as elder brothers on the path, those who have graduated and from, personality and ambition, for one thing, into shepherds of the flock, if you like. Fishers of men, all those potent phrases. They do like to have a little word from time to time. And I certainly have not been the scribe or translator of that in quite some time. I had the pleasure of doing so some years ago, and a lot of those are collected in the book Jesus and the Christ, which you can access, both ebook and print, through the usual online sources. And there's some earlier videos, of course, some of which attracted a lot of attention, including some of the, unwanted kind. And Maitreya can certainly take all that blustering negativity that comes his way. He's ready for it and welcomes it, actually. He doesn't want you to, lie down and accept him unconditionally, or any variations thereof. He likes to be another stall in the souk, selling another way of looking at life. He likes to be another opinion in the rainbow of opinions. He wants you to have a look at everything that's going down and have a little listen to what he has to say. He knows some of you are ready, as do I. Good day, brothers and sisters, upon the path that leads to self-renovation, to acceptance of enlightenment, to understanding your position as a sentient being in a sentient universe that is always evolving from one stage to the next. As one of the elder brothers, the white brotherhood that tends its services to your needs, to your perceived needs, as aspirants struggling with the challenges of making yourselves better. I offer my services. I offer my philosophy. I offer my outlook on your station in the evolving journey of Gaia. However you perceive it, you are participating in however small a way in the evolution of this great cosmic being inhabiting and overshadowing this planet. Many levels of beings assist in this journey, participating in the evolutionary struggles. The angels, the devas, the fairies, the elementals, the animals, the fish, the birds, our friends, the trees, our brothers, the mountains. And you, the humans. You are all part of the great package being delivered to the doorstep of divinity and left there to be discovered by those who would be delighted at your arrival. I and some of my brothers, some of whom evolved as women, lest the terminology be mistaken, we're talking brothers in the widest sense, as in every man, woman, and child and sentient being is your brother. We keep an eye, as we are busy with other tasks, we keep an eye on your evolution. We keep an eye on your struggles. We watch as you interact with other streams of sentient beings, other life forms that travel alongside you, other life forms that visit from elsewhere, visit, interact, and sometimes challenge you with their agendas. And we are aware that this teacher here speaking deserves a little help along from time to time. Thank you. There are many such around the planet, some in large groupings that you might call sects or religions, some in yoga retreats, some in meditation temples, some in the world of business, supplying that competitiveness with a greater measure of compassion and charity. Some in the world of athletics and what you call major league sports, supplying that world with a sense of fulfillment and completion to go along with the fierce competition. There are many in many fields who have heard the message and are doing their best to implement it in any way they can. Portals are opened for these endeavors, and these openings are sometimes sustained by the energies of ascended masters. We think it a worthy task for our efforts. Your speaker here has pursued some of these portals and illuminated them for you, and we would like to add to that opening. Your lives are not limited by those who would define them. Define them perhaps too narrowly, or perhaps define them at all. Your lives are wide open and can be seen and practiced in any number of ways. There are no real limitations to how you encounter the flow of consciousness in form. There are those who would define by limitation, and their arguments can be very convincing. But understand that they are essentially convincing themselves and carrying you along with them because of your devotion and respect to their achievements, their personal achievements. You need not accept their clever definitions. You can pick them up in your hand and turn them around like a beautiful crystal and admire the marvels of its construction. But you do not have to limit yourself to that creation. For despite its outer beauty and inner consistency, it is but one more joy of creation, of which there are an unlimited number, some recognized, some not recognized. The beauty and marvel of the human eye, for example. The flight paths of butterflies as they migrate the planet. The endless self-distributing tiny beings you call virus and bacteria. The grains of sand in a desert that slowly encroaches over the centuries upon that which was once forest. The infinitely small particles studied by physicists. The enormity of galaxies, the mysteries of black holes. The vast population of beings visiting the earth, Gaia, from what you assume is elsewhere, upon vehicles of intricate construction, some of which are huge by your estimations. All these are marvels of the divine creativity as it is distributed to the sentient beings who share their inheritance of that divine distribution. We urge you to embrace all these forms without limiting yourself to one or the other. And we are available psychically, telepathically, to assist you in this understanding, in this embrace. If it all seems too marvelously chaotic in its endless waterfall of manifestation, our vision as ascended masters can assist you in this embrace. We are comfortable with it, and we can help spread that comfort zone. And we make this offer knowing that many of you have trouble absorbing all the contradictions and cruelly seeming paradoxes of this my scribe wants to call it giant shakeout of tumbling dice. An interesting metaphor. Not one I would use myself, but that is his share of the divine sense of creativity. He sees a giant cup with many tumbling dice pouring out. We advise you away from the despairs of seeming inability. We advise you away from the disgust of perceived inequalities. We advise you away from the depression resulting from cruelty and ruthless exploitation. We advise you toward the embrace of what one of our members once famously prayed. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. They think they know. They think they can escape the results of their actions, but they cannot. There are those who victimize, and there are those who are victims. It's an eternal dance, and all partners have to agree to stop the music and sit down. Inevitably, what happens is that one by one, various participants get up and leave, refusing to contribute, shall we say, wishing to find another way, another escape. All of you have participated in this infernal dance in the so-called past, and have graduated from its refining fires. Understand that others, many others, are still obsessed with what you have left behind, what we have left behind. Understand that regardless of the depth of their entanglement, it is all illusion. It is all ultimately leading to greater and greater embrace of consciousness. The increments of understanding may seem tiny, almost without dimension, but they are there. Each pebble on the beach is part of the beach. Each wave is a greeting from the ocean. Each death leads to another birth, second by second. There are voices, many voices, around the planet in consciousness, exploration and research, who feel, who predict great revelations in the near future, great transitions from one level to another, dimensional shifts. And they are right to do so. You and the planet you live on are moving up vibrationally and dimensionally. And that is everyone. Every sentient being is having its vibratory level raised. It is only their ability to absorb and cope that reflects their state. Some of you will transition more smoothly than others. And we ask that those of you who do so turn to assist your brothers in their struggles. In their struggles to embrace greater and more challenging forms of consciousness. Interacting with your beloved dead, with your cosmic visitors, with your brothers in nature. All of these challenges will manifest more and more in the coming days. And it will be too much for some. They will reject. They will push away. They will deny. So for those of you who are welcoming these beings, these manifestations with open arms, we congratulate your efforts and your bravery and wish that you share that bravery with any who are lacking that ability, as you say, to step up to the plate. Each species has its own story, regardless of source. We ask you to share those stories. We ask you to understand that the sharing of those stories is what it's all about. Sharing the wealth, sharing the increase in understanding, sharing the love that you feel in your charitable heart. For me, Maitreya, the byword is sharing. Giving freely of what you appear to have. I thank you for your time and attention and wish you well on your journeys to love. Well, friends, wasn't that a sparkle of inspiration? I am humbly gratified that I could be the vehicle of such a message. Thank you, Maitreya. It strikes me that as an exercise for us in our consciousness projection practice over over this series and the previous two, that it might be an interesting challenge to meditate now for a few moments and project, as we did once before when trying to share our personal contact with the monad, the higher self, with one of your dearly departed, not one of my dearly departed, one of yours. And it strikes me that this might be an interesting exercise for this morning. So please make yourselves comfortable if you aren't already, and do an instant transfer, the ones we've been talking about, and move to whatever level of the astral plane your one or several of your dearly departed are finding their comfort zones on. Allow yourself to visit. Pop in like you were just passing. In fact, say that. Hi, I was just passing by and I thought I'd say hello. And when they ask you what have you been up to since last time, because I know you all visit regularly, whether you remember it or not. That's what it's all about, remembering that we all visit or are visited. And when they ask what you've been up to, you might mention Maitreya. And when you do, observe the reaction. There's no need to insist or demand or deflate. Allow them their reaction. It will be instructive. Some will see saints, some will see angels, some will see prophets, some will see deceivers. someone will see members of the Legion of Satan. They will have their interpretations according to their level. And I encourage you to observe, not to fret or worry. I will leave you to your interactions. If you feel yourself losing focus with the spirits you're visiting, they can fade in and out of view, in and out of hearing. Take a moment to re-energize your efforts. This too can be done. Friends, I hope that was a useful exercise for you in your continued understanding of how we interact and communicate on this journey. And now I will bring this episode of our adventure to a temporary close and wish you all well until next time, which will be either sooner or later than you suspect. Sooner or later than I expect, too. Greetings from, I was going to say Comedy Central. Greetings from a lovely spring-like Canada, where we enjoy the benefits of social democracy benefits that are not shared around the world, and we know it. We are grateful, and we send our gratefulness out to you around the world.